Dr. Alex Thompson had always believed that meeting aliens would change everything. What he never expected was how normal it would feel after 3 years of working alongside one. The morning started like any other aboard the International Space Research Station. Alex sipped his coffee while reviewing reports. The familiar hum of the station's systems creating a comforting background noise. Through the large observation window, Earth spun slowly below, a beautiful blue marble that never failed to amaze him. But today felt different. Today, Princess Kira would receive news that would change both their lives forever. Alex had been just another scientist when the alien ship first appeared in Earth's orbit. The massive vessel, gleaming like polished silver against the black of space, had sent shockwaves through every government on the planet. First contact protocols that had existed only in theory suddenly became reality. The ship carried only one passenger, Princess Kira, of the Voltarian Empire. Her people were explorers, travelers who had journeyed across the galaxy for centuries. Her ship had suffered damage during a long voyage, and Earth was the closest inhabited world where repairs could be made. At first, the world's leaders didn't know what to make of her. Standing nearly 6 feet tall with skin that shimmered like moonlight on water, Kira looked almost human but unmistakably alien. Her eyes were the color of deep ocean water, and strange markings along her arms would glow softly when she was thinking deeply. Most humans found her intimidating. She rarely smiled, spoke in precise, measured tones, and seemed to know things about people before they said them. Diplomats complained that she was cold and calculating. Military officials worried she was gathering intelligence. Scientists were fascinated but kept their distance. Alex was different. As the station's lead xenobiologist, he had been assigned to work with Kira, helping translate not just her language but the complex cultural differences between their peoples. While others saw her as an alien to be feared or studied, Alex saw her as someone far from home, trying to navigate a world that wasn't her own. Their first meeting had been awkward. Alex remembered entering the conference room where Kira sat alone, her hands folded carefully in her lap. She looked up as he entered, and for a moment, he felt as if she was looking straight into his soul. "You're nervous," she had said, her voice carrying a slight musical quality that made it beautiful to hear. "A little," Alex admitted. "It's not every day you meet someone from another world." Something had flickered across her face then, surprise, maybe, or relief. "Most of your people pretend they're not afraid of me." "I'm not afraid," Alex said honestly, "just curious." That had been the beginning of an unlikely friendship. Day after day, Alex would visit Kira in her quarters or escort her around the station. He learned that her people could sense emotions and thoughts, which explained why she often seemed to know what people were thinking. He discovered that she found human minds chaotic and overwhelming, like trying to listen to dozens of radio stations at once. But somehow, Alex's mind was different. Kira told him that his thoughts were clear and organized, like a calm lake instead of a rushing river. Being around him didn't give her the headaches that other humans did. As months turned into years, Alex began to see past the princess title and the alien appearance. He saw how Kira would stare longingly at images of Earth's forests, mentioning how her home world had similar trees. He noticed how she would sit alone in the observation deck for hours, watching Earth turn below them with an expression he couldn't quite read. He learned that despite her royal status, Kira's life had been anything but easy. Her people valued logic and duty above all else. As a child, she had been trained to suppress her emotions, to make decisions based purely on what was best for her empire. Personal feelings were considered weaknesses that could cloud judgment. Yet, in quiet moments, Alex caught glimpses of who Kira might have been if she had grown up differently. She was curious about everything, asking endless questions about human culture, art, and music. She laughed at his jokes, a rare, genuine sound that made his heart skip a beat. She was kind, too, in small ways that others missed. When a junior technician made a mistake that could have been costly, Kira quietly helped fix it without reporting the error. Alex found himself looking forward to their daily meetings more than anything else. He would prepare interesting topics to discuss, bring her books about Earth's history, or show her pictures of places he had visited. Kira seemed to enjoy these conversations as much as he did, often extending their scheduled meetings far beyond what was necessary, but Alex knew this couldn't last forever. Kira's ship was being repaired using both human and Voltarian technology. Every week brought them closer to the day when she would leave. The thought of her departure filled Alex with a sadness he couldn't quite explain. Somewhere along the way, his professional interest had become something much deeper. He found himself thinking about her constantly, wondering what she was doing when they weren't together, worrying about whether she was happy. He had fallen in love with an alien princess, and he didn't know what to do about it. That morning, as Alex made his way to their usual meeting spot, he noticed that Kira seemed different. Her luminescent markings were brighter than usual, and she was staring out at the stars with an intensity that worried him. "Good morning, Kira," he said softly as he entered the observation deck. She turned to him, and he was surprised to see something like sadness in her deep blue eyes. "Alex," she said, her voice quieter than usual, "I received a communication from my home world this morning." His heart sank. He knew what this meant. "The repairs to my ship are nearly complete." Kira continued, "I will be departing Earth in 5 days. 5 days. After 3 years of friendship, of learning about each other's worlds, of shared laughter and quiet conversations, they had only 5 days left." "I see," Alex managed to say, though his throat felt tight. Kira was watching him carefully. Her head tilted slightly in that way she did when she was trying to understand something. "There's something else," she said hesitantly, "when I return home. I am to be married immediately. The arrangement was made years ago to unite two powerful families in our empire. It's my duty as a princess." The words hit Alex like a physical blow. Not only was Kira leaving, but she was leaving to marry someone else, someone chosen for political reasons rather than love. "Do you want to marry him?" Alex asked quietly. Kira looked surprised by the question. "Want?" she repeated. "My people don't make decisions based on personal desires. We do what is best for our empire." "That's not what I asked," Alex said gently. For a long moment, Kira was silent. When she spoke again, her voice was barely above a whisper. "I don't even know him," she admitted. "We met once when we were children. He seemed adequate. The word made Alex's heart ache for her, after seeing her joy when she discovered something new. Her gentle kindness with the station crew, her brilliant mind at work solving complex problems. The thought of her spending her life with someone merely adequate seemed like a tragedy. As they stood there in the observation deck, looking out at the vast expanse of space, Alex realized that time was running out. In 5 days, Kira would be gone forever, and he would never see her again. He had to tell her how he felt, even if it changed nothing, even if it complicated everything. He couldn't let her leave without knowing that someone had seen her not as a princess or an alien, but as herself. Someone had loved her for exactly who she was. 3 days had passed since Kira announced her departure, and Alex could barely concentrate on anything. He found himself staring at his research reports without reading them, forgetting to eat meals, and lying awake at night thinking about what he wanted to say to her. The space station felt different now, as if everything was tinged with the sadness of goodbye. Other crew members had noticed the change in both Alex and Kira. Their usual animated conversations had become quieter, more careful. Everyone could sense that something important was ending. Alex had tried to convince himself that staying silent was the right thing to do. What good would it do to tell Kira how he felt? She was a princess with duties to her people. He was just a human scientist from a small planet in the corner of the galaxy. Their worlds were so different that even friendship seemed impossible, let alone anything more. But every time he saw her, every time she smiled at one of his stories or asked a thoughtful question about Earth, his resolve weakened. The thought of never seeing her again, of her spending her life in a loveless marriage, made his chest ache in a way he had never experienced before. On the 4th day, Alex made a decision. He couldn't let her leave without knowing the truth. Whatever happened next, at least she would know that someone had seen her for who she really was. not just what she represented to her people. He found Kira in the observation deck where they had first learned about her departure. She was standing at the large window, looking out at Earth as it slowly rotated below them. The sight of her there, silhouetted against the stars, made his heart race. "Kira," he said softly as he approached. She turned, and he was struck once again by how beautiful she was. Not just her unusual appearance, but the intelligence in her eyes. The gentle way she moved, the quiet strength she carried with her everywhere. "Alex," she said, her voice warm but tinged with sadness, "I was hoping you would come." They stood together in comfortable silence for a moment, both looking out at the planet below. Alex could feel his heart pounding so hard he was sure she could hear it. "Tomorrow is my last day here," Kira said quietly. "I know," Alex replied, his voice barely above a whisper. He turned to face her fully, and she did the same. Her deep blue eyes seemed to search his face, as if she was trying to memorize every detail. "Kira, there's something I need to tell you before you leave," Alex began, his voice trembling slightly despite his efforts to stay calm. She tilted her head in that curious way she did when she was listening carefully. "What is it?" Alex took a deep breath. This was it. There was no going back after this. "I've loved you for years," he said, the words tumbling out before he could stop them. The effect was immediate and shocking. Kira's eyes went wide, and the soft markings on her arms suddenly flared bright blue, pulsing with light like a heartbeat. She stepped back from him as if he had struck her. "What did you say?" she whispered, her voice filled with something between fear and disbelief. "I love you," Alex repeated, more steadily this time. "I have for a long time. I know I shouldn't. I know it's impossible, but I couldn't let you leave without telling you." Kira's markings were growing brighter, and Alex could see her hands shaking. Among her people, he had learned, the glow of their markings reflected their emotional state. Right now, Kira was experiencing something intense. "You don't understand," she said, backing away from him further. "You don't know what you're saying." "I know exactly what I'm saying," Alex said gently, staying where he was to give her space. "I'm saying that I love your curiosity about everything around you. I love how you ask questions that make me think about things in new ways. I love how kind you are when you think no one is watching. I love your laugh, and how rare and precious it is when you let yourself be happy." Kira was shaking her head, her markings now so bright they cast blue light around the observation deck. "Stop," she said, her voice cracking. "Please stop. I love that you're strong enough to carry the weight of an entire empire's expectations, but gentle enough to help a nervous technician without anyone knowing," Alex continued. "I love that you've taught me that being different doesn't mean being alone. You have to stop," Kira said again, and Alex was shocked to see tears forming in her eyes. He had never seen her cry before. "Why?" he asked softly. "Why does it upset you so much?" Kira turned away from him, wrapping her arms around herself as if she was trying to hold something in. "Because love is forbidden for someone like me," she said, her voice barely audible. Alex felt as if the air had been knocked out of his lungs. "What do you mean, forbidden?" "My people believe that personal feelings make leaders weak," Kira explained, still not looking at him. "When I was a child, I underwent neural conditioning to suppress my ability to form deep emotional attachments. It's done to all members of the royal family." The words hit Alex like a physical blow. The idea that someone had deliberately taken away Kira's ability to love, to form connections with others, filled him with anger and sadness. "That's horrible," he said. "It's necessary," Kira replied, but her voice lacked conviction. "A ruler must make decisions based on logic and duty, not personal feelings." "But you do feel things," Alex said. "I've seen you laugh, seen you get excited about new discoveries, seen you be kind to people." Kira's shoulders shook, and Alex realized she was crying. "The conditioning isn't perfect," she whispered. "Sometimes things slip through. But what you're talking about, what you're offering, it's different. It's stronger. It's the kind of feeling that could break everything they build in my mind." Alex wanted to go to her, to comfort her, but he sensed that she needed space right now. Maybe that wouldn't be such a bad thing. he said quietly. Kira spun round to face him, her eyes wide with fear. You don't understand what you're asking, she said. If the conditioning breaks down completely, if I start feeling things the way other people do, it could kill me. The neural pathways that were suppressed, if they suddenly activate all at once. She trailed off, but Alex understood. The very thing that might allow her to love could also destroy her. There's something else, Kira continued, her voice growing even quieter. The reason I'm being married so quickly when I return home. The conditioning is already starting to fail. I've been having dreams, feeling things I shouldn't feel. The marriage is supposed to stabilize my mind through a bonding process with my intended husband. Alex felt his world tilting. And if it doesn't work? Kira looked directly into his eyes, and he saw the truth there before she spoke. Then I'll die within a year. The observation deck fell silent except for the gentle hum of the station's systems. Alex stared at Kira, processing what she had just told him. The woman he loved was dying because she had been conditioned not to feel love. The cruel irony of it was almost too much to bear. I'm sorry, Kira said softly. I should have told you sooner, but I hoped the feelings would go away if I ignored them. What feelings? Alex asked, hardly daring to hope. Kira's markings pulsed brighter, and when she spoke, her voice was filled with a pain that broke his heart. The feelings I have for you, she whispered. The feelings that are going to kill us both. The silence in the observation deck stretched between them like a bridge neither dared to cross. Alex stared at Kira, her words echoing in his mind. She had feelings for him too, but those same feelings could destroy them both. What do you mean they're going to kill us? Alex asked, his voice barely steady. Kira wiped the tears from her eyes, trying to compose herself. Her markings were still glowing, but the light had softened from the harsh blue flash to a gentler pulse. Sit down, she said quietly. This is going to take some time to explain. They settled onto the bench that faced the large window, earth spinning peacefully below them. Alex wanted to reach for her hand to offer comfort, but he wasn't sure if his touch would make things worse. When I was 7 years old, Kira began, her voice distant, as if she was looking back through time. I was taken from my parents to begin royal training. Part of that training involved neural conditioning, a process that would reshape how my brain worked. Alex listened intently, his heart aching for the child she had been. The procedure was supposed to be simple, Kira continued. They would identify the neural pathways responsible for strong emotional attachments and suppress them. Not remove them completely, just make them quiet. The idea was that I could still feel basic emotions like happiness or sadness, but I wouldn't be able to form the kind of deep bonds that might interfere with my duties as a princess. That's awful, Alex said softly. Kira nodded. It was standard practice for royal children. My parents had gone through it, as had their parents before them. For generations, our leaders have been conditioned this way. She paused, staring out at the stars as if they held answers she was searching for. But something went wrong with my conditioning, she said, or maybe something went right. Depending on how you look at it, the pathways they tried to suppress weren't completely blocked. They were just sleeping. Alex began to understand. And now they're waking up. Exactly, Kira said. It started small. About a year ago, I would feel things more intensely than I should have. A beautiful sunset would make me feel joy that lasted for hours instead of minutes. Sad stories would make me cry when I should have remained composed. She turned to look at him, and Alex saw vulnerability in her eyes that made his chest tight. Then, I came to Earth, and I met you, she said. Your mind was different from other humans. Most people's thoughts are chaotic and overwhelming to someone with my abilities. But yours were clear, organized, peaceful. Being around you didn't give me headaches like being around other humans did. Alex remembered their first meeting. How surprised she had seemed when he admitted to being nervous instead of pretending. Otherwise, that's why you could tolerate spending so much time with me, he realized. At first, yes, Kira said. But as the months passed, something else happened. The more time I spent with you, the more those sleeping pathways began to activate. Your presence was somehow unlocking the parts of my brain that had been conditioned to stay quiet. The implications of what she was saying began to dawn on Alex. So when you're around me, you feel things more strongly. Kira nodded, her markings pulsing brighter, much more strongly. Joy, curiosity, comfort, and eventually she trailed off, unable to say the word love. Alex finished for her. Yes, she whispered. But that's the problem. When those neural pathways fully activate after being suppressed for so long, they can cause massive brain damage. It's called neural cascade syndrome among my people. The sudden rush of emotions and connections can literally burn out the mind. Alex felt cold despite the warm air of the station. How long do people usually survive once it starts? If they're lucky, a few months, Kira said, usually less. But you said the arranged marriage was supposed to help, Alex said, grasping for hope. Kira's expression grew even sadder. The bonding process with a compatible mind can sometimes stabilize the neural pathways before they cascade completely. But compatibility isn't just about personality or attraction. It's about how two minds work together on a fundamental level. And your intended husband was chosen for political reasons, Kira said. His mind is compatible with mine in the way that a hammer is compatible with a nail. It might work, but it would be painful, Alex finished, and probably temporary, Kira added. The doctors aren't optimistic. They think the bonding will. By me, maybe a year or two at most. They sat in silence for a moment. The weight of what she had revealed settling between them. Alex's mind was racing, trying to process everything she had told him. There's something I don't understand, he said finally. If being around me is making the condition worse, why haven't you avoided me? Why have you kept spending time with me? Kira looked down at her hands, her markings dimming slightly, because for the first time in my life, I felt truly alive. She said, even knowing it might kill me, I couldn't stay away. When I'm with you, I remember what it feels like to be whole. Alex's heart broke and soared at the same time. She loved him enough to risk her life just to spend time with him. What if there was another way? He asked suddenly. Kira looked up at him with surprise. What do you mean? You said the bonding process requires compatible minds. Alex said, his thoughts racing. What if we tried to find out if we're compatible, really compatible? Not just politically convenient, Alex. No, Kira said immediately. The bonding process is permanent. If it worked, you would be connected to my mind for the rest of your life. You would have to leave Earth, leave everything you know. And if it failed, we would both die, Alex said, understanding. Yes, Kira said. And even if it worked, there's no guarantee my people would accept a human bondmate. It could start a war. Alex was quiet for a long moment, thinking. Finally, he turned to face her fully. What does the bonding process actually involve? He asked. Kira hesitated. It's complex. Both minds have to be completely open to each other. No barriers, no hidden thoughts or feelings. The two people have to trust each other completely and want the connection more than anything else. In the universe, it has to be based on real love, Alex said. Exactly, Kira said. And it has to be mutual. Both people have to choose it freely, knowing all the risks. Alex reached out slowly and took her hand. Her skin was warm and soft, and he felt a slight tingling sensation where they touched. Kira, he said gently, do you love me? Her markings flared brighter, and tears formed in her eyes again. Yes, she whispered. I love you so much that it terrifies me. I love your kindness, your curiosity, the way you see wonder in everything around you. I love how you've never once looked at me like I was a monster or a specimen to be studied. You see me as just me. Then we have to try, Alex said firmly. Alex, you don't understand what you're asking, Kira said. If we attempt the bonding and fail, we both die. If we succeed, your life as you know it ends forever. You would have to come with me to my world, live among my people, deal with the political consequences of our union. And if we do nothing, Alex asked. Kira was quiet for a moment. I go home, marry someone I don't love, and die within a year or two anyway. Then the choice is obvious, Alex said. I'd rather die trying to save you than live knowing I let you go to die alone. Kira stared at him for a long moment, and Alex could see her mind working, weighing possibilities and consequences. There's something else you need to know, she said finally, something that changes everything. Alex squeezed her hand encouragingly. Tell me, the reason your mind is so compatible with mine. The reason being around you unlocks my conditioned pathways, Kira said, her voice growing excited despite her fear. I think it's because human brains and Voltarian brains evolved along similar patterns. We might be more compatible than any two minds have ever been. What does that mean? It means, Kira said, her markings now pulsing with a rhythm that matched her heartbeat, that we might not just survive the bonding process. We might become something entirely new. The next morning came too quickly. Alex had barely slept, his mind spinning with everything Kira had told him. They had less than 24 hours before her ship was scheduled to depart, and they were considering something that had never been attempted before in the history of either of their species. Alex found Kira in the medical bay, standing next to Dr. Chen, the station's chief medical officer. She had dark circles under her eyes, suggesting she had slept as little as he had. Alex, Dr. Chen said as he approached, Princess Kira has been explaining her situation to me. This is unprecedented. Is it possible? Alex asked directly. Can we even attempt this bonding process safely? Dr. Chen pulled up a holographic display showing brain scans. Theoretically, yes, but the risks are enormous. From what Princess Kira has explained, the bonding process involves creating permanent neural pathways between two minds. If it fails, we both die, Alex finished. She told me. It's worse than that. Dr. Chen continued. If the process starts and then fails partway through, you could both end up in a permanent vegetative state. Your minds would be trapped between connection and separation. Kira stepped forward, her markings pulsing with anxiety. There's something else, she said. I've been in contact with my ship's medical AI all night, running calculations. The window for attempting this is very narrow. What do you mean? Alex asked. My neural conditioning is breaking down faster now, Kira explained. The AI estimates I have maybe 6 hours before the cascade becomes irreversible. After that, even a successful bonding might not be enough to save me. 6 hours. Alex felt his heart race. They had gone from having a day to having less than a quarter of that time. But there's good news too, Kira continued, though her expression remained worried. The AI analyzed the brain scans Dr. Chen took of you last year during your routine physical. Your neural patterns are more compatible with mine than anyone we've ever seen. Dr. Chen nodded, pointing to areas on the brain scans. The similarity is remarkable. It's as if your brains were designed to work together. So what do we need to do? Alex asked. First, we need to prepare the equipment, Kira said. My ship has the necessary technology, but we'll need to modify it to work with human physiology. That alone will take several hours. I can help with that, Dr. Chen offered. But we'll also need approval from the station commander and Earth's diplomatic corps. This could have serious political implications. As if summoned by their conversation, Commander Rodriguez appeared in the medical bay doorway. His expression was serious, and Alex could tell he had already heard about their situation. Dr. Thompson, Princess Kira, he said formally. I've just finished a very interesting conversation with Earth's Central Command. Alex's heart sank. He had hoped they could attempt the procedure before politics got involved. They're aware of what you're considering, Commander Rodriguez continued, and they're not happy about it, sir. Alex began, but the commander held up a hand. However, he said, they've also been informed by Princess Kira's people about her medical condition. The Voltarian Empire has made it clear that if she dies due to our interference or negligence, it could be considered an act of war. Kira stepped forward. Commander, I want to make it clear that Dr. Thompson is not influencing my decision. This is my choice. I understand that, Princess, Commander Rodriguez said. But Earth's leaders are concerned about the precedent this sets. If we allow a human to bond with an alien royal, What message does that send to other species? Maybe. It sends the message that love is stronger than politics, Alex said, his frustration showing. Commander Rodriguez was quiet for a moment, then surprised them with a small smile. Maybe it does, he said, which is why I've been authorized to give you permission to proceed. With conditions, Alex felt a surge of hope. What conditions? The procedure must be monitored by both Earth and Voltarian medical personnel, Commander. Rodriguez explained, if it succeeds, you'll both need to submit to extensive medical and psychological evaluation. And Dr. Thompson, you understand that if you go through with this, your life on Earth effectively ends? Alex nodded without hesitation. I understand. There's one more thing, Commander Rodriguez said, his expression growing grave. We've detected 3 Voltarian ships approaching Earth. They'll arrive in about 4 hours. Kira's markings flared bright with alarm. That's impossible. No other ships were scheduled to arrive. According to our long-range sensors, one of them is a royal vessel, Commander Rodriguez said. We believe your intended husband is coming to collect you personally. The blood drained from Kira's face. Prince David, she whispered. If he's here, it means my father suspects something is wrong. What happens if he arrives before we complete the bonding? Alex asked. He'll take me back to Voltaria immediately, Kira said. Royal law gives him that authority once we're officially engaged in the bonding process, Dr. Chen asked. Takes approximately 3 hours if everything goes perfectly, Kira replied. But we need at least an hour to prepare the equipment. Alex did quick math in his head. They had 4 hours before. Prince David arrived, needed 3 hours for the procedure, and 1 hour for preparation. That left them no margin for error. Then we start now, he said decisively. Alex, wait, Kira said, grabbing his arm. You need to understand what you're giving up. If this works, you'll be bound to me forever. You'll have to live on my world. Among my people, you'll never see Earth again, never see your family or friends. Alex looked into her eyes, seeing the fear and love warring there. Kira, he said gently. 3 days ago I thought I was going to lose you forever anyway. Now I have a chance to spend my life with the woman I love, helping her save not just herself but potentially changing how both our peoples think about connection and emotion. How is that a sacrifice? Tears formed in Kira's eyes. And if we fail, if we both die in the attempt, then at least we'll die together, Alex said. And maybe our example will inspire others to be braver about love. Dr. Chen cleared his throat. If you're going to do this, we need to move now. Every minute we delay makes the procedure more dangerous. Commander Rodriguez stepped forward and shook Alex's hand. For what it's worth, Dr. Thompson, I think you're either the bravest man I've ever met or the craziest. Possibly both. Probably both. Alex agreed with a nervous smile. As they prepared to leave for Kira's ship, she stopped suddenly. Alex, there's one more thing I need to tell you, she said. During the bonding process, you'll experience all my memories, and I'll experience yours. Every thought, every feeling, every moment of your life will be open to me. I know, Alex said. Dr. Chen explained that part, but you don't understand, Kira said, her markings pulsing rapidly. You'll see what my life was like before the conditioning and what it became after. You'll feel the loneliness, the emptiness, the constant struggle to pretend I was fine when I was dying inside. Alex reached out and took her hands in his. And you'll see every moment I've loved you, he said. Every time I've worried about you, every time your laugh made my day better, every time I've wished I could take away your pain. Kira's markings steadied, glowing with a warm, gentle light. You're not afraid? She asked. I'm terrified, Alex admitted, but not of sharing my mind with you. I'm afraid of what happens if we don't try. As they headed toward the docking bay where Kira's ship waited, Alex realized that in just a few hours, everything would change. Either they would be bonded together forever, creating something new in the universe, or they would both be dead. But for the first time since Kira had announced her departure, Alex felt truly hopeful. They were about to attempt something that had never been done before, something that could change the relationship between their entire species. And they were doing it for love. Kira's ship was unlike anything Alex had ever seen. The interior walls seemed to pulse with a soft, living light, and the air itself felt different, charged with energy that made his skin tingle. As they rushed through the corridors toward the medical bay, he could hear the ship's AI speaking in Kira's musical language, updating her on their preparations. The neural interface is ready. Kira translated as they entered a circular room filled with strange, beautiful equipment. But there's a problem. Dr. Chen, who had followed them aboard, looked up from a console he was studying. What kind of problem? The approach vector of Prince Davin's ships has changed, Kira said, her markings flashing with alarm. They'll be here in 2 hours, not 4. Alex felt his stomach drop. Can we do the procedure in 2 hours? Barely, Kira said. But if something goes wrong, if we need to make adjustments, we'll have to risk it, Alex said firmly. We don't have a choice. The ship's AI spoke again, and Kira's expression grew even more worried. What now? Dr. Chen asked. The AI is detecting changes in my brain chemistry, Kira explained. The cascade is accelerating. It estimates we have maybe 90 minutes before it becomes irreversible. 90 minutes. Alex looked around the medical bay, taking in the alien technology that would either save them or kill them. 2 beds sat in the center of the room, connected by a complex array of crystalline structures that hum with energy. How does this work exactly? Alex asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Kira moved to one of the beds, her hands dancing over controls that seemed to respond to her touch. We'll both be placed in a kind of controlled sleep. The neural interface will map our brain patterns and begin creating connections between our minds. It starts slowly, Dr. Chen added, reading from his tablet where he'd been taking notes. First, you'll share basic emotions and sensations, then memories, thoughts, dreams. The critical moment comes about in Aaron. Kira continued. That's when our minds either accept a permanent connection or reject it completely. If they reject it, we die, Alex finished. I get it? No, you don't, Kira said, turning to face him fully. Alex, when I say permanent connection, I mean permanent. We'll never be fully separate again. You'll feel what I feel, know what I'm thinking. We'll be 2 people sharing aspects of one consciousness. Alex was quiet for a moment. Considering this, will I still be me? Yes, Kira said. But you'll also be part of something larger. It's hard to explain to someone who hasn't experienced it. Are you afraid? Alex asked her. Kira's markings pulsed gently. Yes, but not of being connected to you. I'm afraid of what my people will do when they discover what we've done. Before Alex could respond, the ship's AI spoke urgently. Kira listened, then turned pale. What is it? Dr. Chen asked. Prince Davin's ship just sent a message, Kira said. He's demanding that I prepare for immediate departure when he arrives. He knows something is wrong. Then we start now, Alex said, moving toward one of the beds. Wait, Dr. Chen said. Are you both absolutely certain about this? Once we begin, there's no stopping the process. Alex looked at Kira, seeing his own determination reflected in her eyes. I'm certain, he said. So am I, Kira replied. They lay down on the beds, which adjusted automatically to their bodies. The crystalline structures began to glow brighter, and Alex felt a strange tingling sensation in his head. The first stage is beginning, Kira said, her voice sounding distant even though she was right next to him. You might feel disoriented, Alex was about to respond when suddenly he wasn't just Alex anymore. He could feel Kira's presence in his mind, tentative and gentle, like someone carefully opening a door. With it came a wave of emotions that weren't his own: fear, hope, love, and underneath it all, a loneliness so deep it made his heart ache. I can feel you, he whispered, amazed. And I can feel you, Kira's voice replied, but he wasn't sure if she had spoken aloud or if he was hearing her thoughts. Your mind is so warm, so full of wonder. As the process continued, Alex began to experience flashes of Kira's memories. He saw her as a child, laughing and playing before the conditioning. He felt her terror during the procedure that would change her forever. He experienced years of emotional numbness, of pretending to feel things she couldn't actually experience. In return, he felt Kira experiencing his own memories, his childhood on Earth, his excitement when he first became a scientist, his loneliness before meeting her, and most powerfully, the moment he first realized he loved her. I never knew, Kira's voice whispered in his mind. I never knew how much you cared. And I never understood how much pain you were in, Alex replied. You did it so well. The connection deepened, and suddenly Alex could see the damaged neural pathways in Kira's mind, areas that had been deliberately scarred to prevent emotional connection. But he could also see something else, new pathways forming, growing stronger as their minds intertwined. It's working. Dr. Chen's voice seemed to come from very far away. The damaged areas in Princess Kira's brain are being bypassed by the connection with Alex. But even as hope grew, Alex sensed something wrong. There was resistance in Kira's mind, fighting against the connection, the conditioning. Kira explained, her mental voice strained. It's trying to reject the bond. It was designed to prevent exactly this kind of connection. Alex felt the resistance too, like a wall trying to slam down between them. But he also felt something else, the strength of their combined will fighting against it. Don't let go, he told her. Whatever happens, don't let go. Never, Kira replied fiercely. The battle in their minds intensified. Alex experienced what felt like electrical storms, as the old conditioning fought against the new neural pathways. For a terrifying moment, he thought they might lose. The artificial barriers in Kira's mind were incredibly strong. Then something unexpected happened. The resistance didn't just break, it shattered completely, releasing a flood of suppressed emotions and memories. Alex felt Kira's true self emerging, the person she had been before the conditioning, combined with the strength she had developed during years of struggling against it. Alex. Dr. Chen's voice called urgently. Something's happening. Alex opened his eyes. When had he closed them? And saw that Kira's markings weren't just glowing, they were blazing with light. But more than that, he could feel what she was feeling, think her thoughts alongside his own. The cascade, Kira said, sitting up. It's not destroying the pathways. It's rebuilding them. Alex sat up too, marveling at the sensation of being himself while also being connected to someone else. It didn't feel wrong or invasive. It felt like he had been incomplete his whole life, and was finally whole. How do you feel? Dr. Chen asked, scanning them both with his medical instruments. Different, Alex said, then smiled. But good different. I can think clearly for the first time in 20 years, Kira said, wonder in her voice. The conditioning isn't just gone. It's like it never existed. Suddenly, alarms began blaring throughout the ship. Prince Davin's ships have arrived. The ship's AI announced in both languages. Alex and Kira looked at each other, and Alex was amazed to realize he could sense her thoughts and feelings as clearly as his own. She was afraid of facing her people, but also excited about what they had accomplished. We should go meet them, Kira said. Together, Alex added, taking her hand as they walked toward the docking bay. Alex realized that everything had changed in ways they couldn't have predicted. The bonding hadn't just saved Kira's life, it had created something new. Through their connection, he could feel that her people's rigid emotional conditioning was fundamentally flawed. That love and connection actually made being stronger, not weaker. Can you feel it too? Kira asked softly. The others, Alex said, understanding immediately. There are others among your people whose conditioning is failing. The bond created a kind of signal, Kira explained. Others who have been struggling with broken conditioning will be able to find each other now when they reach the docking bay. Prince Davin was waiting with a contingent of guards. He was tall and imposing, with the same luminescent markings as Kira, but his were cold and dim. Princess Kira, he said formally, you will come with me immediately. No, Kira said calmly. I won't. Prince Davin's markings flared. You are bound by law to. He stopped mid-sentence, staring at Kira with shock. Alex realized that as someone with similar telepathic abilities, Prince Davin could sense the change in her. What have you done? Prince Davin whispered. I've chosen love over duty, Kira said simply. And I've discovered that love doesn't make us weak. It makes us complete. Alex squeezed her hand, feeling her strength and determination through there. Bond, this is just the beginning, Kira continued, her voice growing stronger. We're going to change everything. And looking at Prince David's shocked expression, Alex believed they really would.